And we are live. What's happening out there, good people? Welcome to House Culture Conversations. It's your boy DLott and DJ Dewey B. What's happening?
What's happening, DLott? Good to see you, brother.
Yes, yes. Another weekend, another amazing weekend of music this past Saturday. And I loved it. It was great. It was inspiring, a lot of new music. Man, how are you keeping it going?
A lot of track source tracks, my brother. A lot of purchases.
Hey, that's in keeping with your message. Buy the music, support the artists, get out there and really keep the music moving. A lot of good stuff out there right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, the only thing I want to mention to the folks is this is our last day on a Tuesday. This is our last Tuesday with House Cultures. But the good news is we're moving to prime time with Evolution's house music sessions. So we're gonna team up with Evolution on Saturday, and we're gonna bring the house down. So everybody be on the lookout for our new time and space for House Culture Conversations. We're not ending. We're just moving. Dewey, anything add to that?
That's pretty much it. Just look for us on Saturdays now. And without further ado, let's bring on one of the best DJs in the whole land.
Yes, we got a treat. We're leaving with a bang. So without further ado, I want to bring to the set DJ Vince Adams. What's happening?
Big Rose. What's good? What's happening? And I gotta say super quick, congratulations on an incredible run on Tuesday. I mean, I got to see that my big brother Walt McFarlane was here, Crazy House Head Hans Cherry. I mean, you guys haven't just gone with the DJs and producers, you brought a lot of the tastemakers in as well. So thanks for allowing me to be, the end of a run and then, pop off the new one on Saturdays with House Evolutions. That's big.
Yes. So you bet. So how have you been? I know you got married. We got a pandemic. We got social. How are you, first off?
I'm fantastic. I've got to say, probably being raised as an only child. My brother is like 15 years younger than me. So, when I'm 18 and he's 3, it's a different dynamic. You don't have that sibling rivalry. So I was raised kind of like, in a cocoon. So this whole social distancing and, a lot of this kind of like it fits with the only child kind of dynamic. So I've adjusted, pretty easily. So, my heart, my blessings to all of those who have been deeply affected in one way or another, mentally, financially, emotionally, family dynamics, health, lots of things. But for me personally, it's been a period of growth for sure.
Awesome. And congratulations on your recent union. I know it was private and quiet, but tell us how you doing so far.
Man, it's August 25th, second greatest day of my life. First is, just identifying that the woman of my dreams was in front of me. So, it's been a blessing. And, to be somebody that kind of went to a cult high school of Whitney Young and a cult college of FAMU. You think about how can you, bring all of this together, especially with having a public presence. So I kind of saw my opening and went forward and only had 24 attendees at the wedding between our family members. And it was absolutely incredible.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, hey, 1, congratulations. 2, glad you're safe and everyone else is safe.
Absolutely.
And glad you're getting along in these tough times. And, we bring this conversation together to talk about the culture that we love so much, house music. And why, in your opinion, is house music still chugging along 30 plus years later?
Here's what I can say. If you go into a Subway sandwich restaurant right now, you're not going to hear a song from 2011. You're not going to hear probably a song from 2007. You'll probably hear a Madonna song. You hear a Prince song. You hear, TLC or something like that. And it's because the music that was made in the early, 80s, the late 70s, throughout the period of the 80s, because it was such a culture for us, it really connects with us emotionally. So that emotional connection really then becomes something that we've like transferred over into the 21st century, landscape musically, because music doesn't connect with us the same way today. Pop music doesn't connect with us the same way that our music of our high school days. So you can hear a song today that takes you back to this party you were at in 1995, or this party you were at in 1983, or the first time that I heard, the Dominatrix Sleeps Tonight, or, whatever it is. Emotionally, music just has a connection with us. And so people have brought the classics forward, but then you have dynamic producers and other people that have preserved the culture that now allow it to continue to grow and prevail, even though pop music itself is microwave. House music is, maintain a certain level of integrity, a certain level of substance. And I think that's why it's still growing. It really stuck to us in the latter part of the 20th century. And then those people who now are bringing it over into the 21st century are putting some new, I want to say, stank on it, to the fact that there's some songs that I like better that are made in the last 5 years than maybe songs that we consider classics from, 79 to 86.
Now I know, Dewey, you want to get in on some of that because you say all the time.
And what's up to Big Walt? I saw my big brother Walt pop in.
Yeah, Walt and Brett Morrison. What's happening, people? Yeah, don't hesitate to send a question over to Vince and let him know that you're watching. And we're going to do our best to get that over to him. But Dewey, you say all the time, we got to move forward. That's the whole point behind your whole Evolutions house music session.
That is correct. We want to keep the music moving, support the artists that are coming out right now because they need our support more than ever. And Vince has been doing a fabulous job at that. I'm so proud of him. It's the next generation of DJs in Chicago. And I'm so proud to be on the show with him because he's done such a great job, just a fabulous job.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that job that you're doing, but we got to talk about some of this history. What are some of your favorite house stories that you can think back to?
Here's the deal. I started, my show, Voices of House Music, which we, discuss backstage, is in hiatus right now. It's not going anywhere, still coming out. But the thing that made me create Voices of House Music was because I was a fan of the music. I'm not an aficionado. I'm not I was there carrying the crates. And, I remember when Ronnie opened up the DJ booth and I don't have those stories because I was a fan. I was really a fan of house music. So my, connection with house music started with the Hot Mix 5. Definitively started with the Hot Mix 5. I was not in a position where, I was 11, 12 years old in 81, 82. I wasn't, out in the clubs or anything, but I can remember listening to Ralphie Rosario and saying he sounds different than Mickey Oliver, and he sounds different than Farley, and he sounds different than Kenny Jason, who sounded different than all of them. So that's what I was, absolutely hearing back then, was everybody's style. And it wasn't quite honestly until the movie Breakin' and Beat Street that came out in 84 that I got to see DJs for the first time. So remember, I'm 14 years old. I'm just hearing the music, but some of my earliest memories are sitting there listening to that Kenny Jammin' Jason mix and saying, I hear the first 4 bars of Watch the Closing Doors coming in, or I hear the first 4 bars of Hot Shot Karen Young coming in. I started to, see how fast I could guess what the next song was. And that is where I started to develop my chops, sonically for what was happening in music. And then when I got old enough to go to the Whitney Young sock hops, when I got old enough to go to Mendel, when I got old enough to go to, a Sawyer's, a Sowers party, even Jack and Jill parties back in the day, St. Ignatius parties back in the day, Hale's parties, Leo parties, as I started to go, to these different Catholic school parties, because the Catholic school parties were the best high school parties. I mean, just hands down, that there's no argument there. As I started to go, and then the Hyde Park Racquetball Club, and then, the Warehouse on Randolph, not the original Warehouse, but, Yeah. So as I start to be able to go to these different clubs, now I start to have this personal experience, but it all really started with the radio.
Oh man. You said it. You said it. And those are the experiences that we kind of get started with in house. I mean, and for you, we were on the kind of front end of that. You were coming kind of after the first wave, so to speak.
Oh, absolutely.
And, to your point, it was that music, but it was something that you said that really caught my attention. And Dewey, I want your perspective on that too. He was talking, Vince said he developed his chops And that's real important for DJs to really let that sink in. Because I know, Dewey, me and you, we talk about it all the time. How much time you spend listening to music, curating music, understanding music, so that, like Vince said, you can kind of pick it up. Talk a little bit more about that, Dewey.
Yeah, it's the time you put in is going to show when you go out to play. Most of us started like Vince did in your bedroom or your basement somewhere, and somebody had to teach you how to play that music. And that's all good. That's what it's about. If you got your lessons from Farley, like I did too, Vince, it shows when you go out to play. And just spend the time with the music, let it get into your soul, and it'll always be good.
That's it. That's it. Also, I also want, hey, Candace, what's happening? Good to see you always here. Don't forget, we're moving to Saturdays with the Evolutions program. Your frat, Gregory Payton, and our monarch, Gregory Payton, is in the house. He said, what's up? And Jerry, us renewed, went to all those parties too. So thank you guys for tuning in and sending your love, because Vince is exposing the tea. So now, Vince, tell us, when did you get into DJing? When did you kind of get behind the turntable?
Thanks so much, Jerry. I'm blushing. You can see I'm probably a little red. That was an incredible compliment. My big brother, Greg, I've known Greg since I was 15, maybe even 14 years old, and, definitely took me under his wing. Thanks for introducing me to Prince's Madhouse albums. I appreciate that, Greg. But, that's the thing. I think Dewey hit it, is that here's what I like to tell newer DJs, is that I heard of who, African Bambaataa was. I heard of who Ron Hardy was. I heard of who Frankie Knuckles was. I heard of Jam Master Jay. I didn't want to be them. Like they, to me, those names, those big DJ names, were not like something I aspired to be or to do. It was like I was just a fan of the music. I remember spending my lunch money on the music. So it was incredible for me just to be a fan of the music. So my first introduction to music, my mom tells me, is me crawling out of the crib to play with the record player. I was just naturally attracted to music. So what started to happen after that is that all of my gifts became somewhat musically related. So I would get a close and play record player. My first 45 was Love Machine by, the Miracles. Then I started getting turned on to the albums, and, my grandmother has a Natalie Cole record, or she's got a Bobby Blue Bland record, and they let me play the record. Then you go to Uncle Les's house on 65th and Hermitage. They got the basement parties, and they might let you play, Don't Stop the Music or a song or two before you got to go up to the top of the stairs. It was really just my love for music, putting, the recorder in front of the speaker, waiting for, the song to come off, pressing pause so you can record that on your blank tape, and then deciding to do a pause tape. And when you have show and tell, they're like, what's your show and tell? Well, I'm going to show you how to pause mix. That was like my show and tell, in seventh grade. So I was really just a fan of the music. It wasn't like, like I've got to be a DJ, or I want to work for somebody, I want to be on stage and people yell my name, that sort of thing. I just love the music. But like I said, when I saw Beat Street, when I saw breaking and saw the equipment, that was 8th grade. I was like, Ma, you might have to, jokingly, you might have to sell an organ, a body part or something. I got to have those. I mean, it was just like I saw it and I wanted it. And my mom, single mom, made it happen. And I never looked back. And I never DJ'd a party until I got to Whitney Young sock hop. They said, hey, we know that you've been in your bedroom doing your thing. What's up, big brother Walt? We know that you've been doing your thing. Hey, why don't you take some time? And that was my first public party, was at a Whitney Young sock hop. Brought all my crates, all my records down to FAMU just as a hobby. And 3 weeks as I was on campus, a guy that graduated from Whitney Young the year before I did, pledged as a freshman. He was like, my frat brothers are throwing a party. Why don't you come DJ? And I was like, because I don't want to. He was like, what? You don't want to DJ a party? I was like, nah, man, it's a hobby. Like, I brought that down just to have fun in between classes. He was like, we'll pay you $50. This is 1988. I'm like, $50. That's like 10 pizzas, 10 haircuts, 10 trips to KFC. I'm rich. I'm like, pick me up at 7. And I DJ'd that party. But here's the interesting thing, Dewey, and he'll, appreciate this, is that the party wasn't a genre party. It wasn't a bass music party from the South. It wasn't a house music party from the North. I was one of the few DJs from the North who actually was willing to play music from the South, where the DJs from Florida could not DJ. They were selectors. They were really good at picking the songs that people wanted to move to, and they might talk and then put on the next song. How about y'all go to McDonald's and get a Big Mac? And then put on another song. Like literally, that was a transition in Florida. But when they started hearing how I could blend like the loop music with Work It to the Bone, they were like, man, my nigga, that house music ain't as bad when you play it with our stuff, my nigga. So literally by the end of my freshman year at FAMU, the first semester of my freshman year at FAMU, they were like, that's the guy to go to if you want to hear everything at a party. And that's how I got my start. I know it was kind of like a long story, but I just wanted to share. No. It wasn't because I wanted to be put on. It's just kind of a friend saw something in me, introduced me. Big JB, that's my guy, Lindblom Eagle, and he lives in St. Louis right now. I appreciate you, James.
Yes, man. I tell you that is a great story. I mean, Dewey talks about it all the time. It's about the music first. It's the love of the music, the love, because if you don't love something, who's going to sit there for 3 hours and listen to music and go through music? It's part of the craft.
DLott, D, man, I can't tell you the number of times that I'm standing at Loop Records and on the other side of the street is Mr. Submarine and around the corner is McDonald's and I've got $5.75. And I'm like, I could either buy this one copy of Jungle Wands or I can get a sub or I can get a Big Mac meal. I'm gonna buy this Jungle Wands and go home hungry, but I got this Loop bag and I go home and peel it out. And I listened to my lunch every day. I mean, that was the deal. I would spend my lunch money on music.
Hey, Dewey, I know you can relate to that. You have to make that choice sometimes.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Still to this day, you put some things back. You might put back that 6-pack of beer to go buy some records. So that's how it goes nowadays. So,
like I said before, man, we appreciate the sacrifice because, not too many people understand what it takes to DJ and the work that you're doing day in and day out, keeping it fresh, keeping it, moving and not playing the same sets over and over again. That takes a lot of effort and commitment to the craft. And so we appreciate that a whole heck of a lot. Now, how'd you develop your style of DJing? House DJs usually don't say too much. House DJs kind of cool in the cut, maybe say a couple words here and there. But you keep that crowd engaged. You keep them moving. And I've watched a couple of your sets. The people are shaking, and I'm like, this COVID, we shut in. You got the people rocking out. How have you developed that over the years?
Here's the deal. Shout out to Candace, HBCU grad. I saw Will put the wow up earlier, so thank you all for even being here. I'm not in the chat. Will said, "Was I nervous? Nervous as hell." absolutely on the first set. And here's I don't really have, like I said, I got more 21st century tea than I got 20th century tea. But I wound up DJing my junior year prom because I wrecked my mom's car. And she was like, you ain't going to prom. that money just became the deductible. So I actually wound up DJing my junior prom in a Nick Bollettieri Nike Tennis Academy sweatshirt, because that's my deal with sweatshirts. And so I went to my junior prom in a sweatshirt and some jabots and DJ, part of my junior prom. And of course I was real nervous there in front of your peers. Today, I mean, like literally after you DJ for Obama and the president of NAACP and, all the different things that I've done, it's just like, walk in the park now. But those first sets, absolutely bubble guts. in the very, very early days. But my style, which is a very fair question, didn't really develop until later relative to the talking component, believe it or not. So in Florida, talking is huge. And what you used to have back in the late 80s is you had somebody that worked the mic for you and you were the DJ. And so that was it. I never said anything other than thank you for coming out. God bless, good night. Like I was, the Russell Simmons of mics, if you can believe it, because he talks so damn much. Like if you can believe that I used to never say anything, but the cadence of how to interact with the music is a Florida thing. How to cut in on beat and that's a Florida thing. Jam Pony, if anybody wants like a Florida lesson, Jam Pony is, a dynamic that I've brought over today, and it's interspersed with the music. Fast forward to 1998. I'm standing side by side with Teddy Gilmore. And thanks so much for that, JB. I definitely appreciate that. So standing side by side with Teddy Gilmore in 1998 at Navy Pier, and he brought Kid Capri to Navy Pier, and it's like 1,100, 1,300 people. I might even be undercutting it. I mean, this is not the 70-yard field goal. You all remember the late 90s had parties with 1,500 people in one party. So Kid Capri rocking Navy Pier, 1,100 people. Teddy Gilmore turns to me. He's like, "You're gonna have to start talking." he was like, "That's the future." He was like, "That dude right there, like you are gonna have to start engaging people in your sets because that's the future." Like Teddy has always been ahead of the curve on what people like gravitate to. And I was like, man, I don't want to be one of them type of dudes. I want to let the music do the talking for me. And this is me in 98, like true story. You asked where my style came from. The other thing is that now I do BET in 99, courtesy of, a Mother Macaulay grad, Nicola Jennings. Nikki is working for BET. She comes and sees me in Chicago and she's like, "You need to be on Planet Groove." So now I'm one of like 3 DJs who's ever done a DJ session for, thank you, Cherry. And so now I'm doing these bigger parties. Like I'm starting to do Essence Fest. I was like, my DJ style of all of these smooth transitions with just a little talking doesn't work. I hired a guy who was an IFC scratch champion to teach me how to scratch. So by 2005, I've learned how to integrate cuts, talking, so that now I have kind of like an East Coast, Chicago, down South. Like I've got all these different elements happening. And because I like playing a variety of music, people started hiring me because they're like, "We know that you're going to keep the people engaged. We know that you're going to not just play one type of music." Fast forward to COVID. I had no intentions of DJing on Facebook Live, on any of these live platforms, like none, no intentions. My mom calls me. She's like, "You should go and do one of those parties." She didn't even know that there were people DJing. I mean, like we're talking right at the point that the airport shut down. Like there were no virtual DJs at that point. Like we're talking super early. My mom was like, "You need to go do that." I was like, "I'm not really feeling it." The day that D Nice got 100,000 people, that Saturday, people were blowing my phone up like, "Are you watching this?" And I was like, "No." They were like, "Are you watching?" I was like, "No." And I got on and I was like, wow, this is a vibe. Like this dude has 100,000 people on Instagram from across the world. But here's what I noticed. If you were not Lenny Kravitz, Naomi Campbell, Michelle Obama, Janet Jackson, you were not getting a shout out. Mm-hmm. Light bulb went on. I said, there's 100,000 people in a VIP party. So you guys are all in general admission looking up at VIP, but you're not in the party. This is not your party. A D Nice party is not your party. A D Nice party is a VIP party that you got to watch. Mm-hmm. So I said, what if I actually made it the people's party? What if I made this a Lynn Bloom party? What if I made this a Whitney Young party? What if I made this a Howard University party? What if I made this a University of Illinois party? What if everybody got to hear their school, see their name? What if I made this about the people and not about the VIPs? That's where the talking came from virtually, is that I have to let you know that this is your party so we can all be connected. Otherwise, you're either just watching a guy in his basement, which is okay, depending on the music and the vibe, or you're watching a VIP party and you're just like, pick me, and you'll never get picked. And so that's where my COVID style came from, is that I was inspired to do my own version of what I saw from D Nice when I was like, if you're Joe down the street, you'll never get a shout out. But I do my best to engage everybody. And when that happens, you're listening for your name. You're a little bit more attentive. Now you put your arm around somebody because your school got a shout out. Keith Garrett, University of Illinois, House of Pain, St. Ignatius, Mendel. Everybody's now listening like, is he going to say my school? I understood the psychology of what it meant to talk to people. And even though it might irritate the hell out of some people, that's not my audience. That's not the people that I'm willing to reach. Here's the person I want to reach. The person that misses the fact that we can't be together. The person that wants to create a virtual connection through a decentralized platform, but at the same time feel like it's centralized because you feel like this is your party. This is your engagement, not something that you're just watching from a virtual platform. That's where the style came from.
That is that. Well, everybody, you just got a master's class. Quite frankly, if you're out there DJing and you just heard DJ Vince Adams talk about his style, take notes. Take notes. I want to take a minute. Andrew Brown, what's happening? Misty, Caroline, Keith Garrett.
Chief Motivator Andrew. I saw my girl Missy Hodge out there as well.
Yes, Missy, Keith Garrett, Missy. Donna Davis McCormick, thank you guys for tuning in.
I saw Vanessa as well. Thank you so much.
Yes, we appreciate you guys. We're taking a lesson from DJ Vince. We see you. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. We're always going to be looking forward to your comments when you join us at House Culture Conversations. Dewey, hey, talk a little bit about style, Dewey. I mean, you heard Vince's comments. What are your thoughts on style?
Man, I appreciate the style. I knew it came from the East Coast and the Dirty South. It sounds like that. It's beautiful. And as a matter of fact, if I can say this personally, he's better than D Nice. I'm gonna say that. I can say that because I know. And I appreciate it, man. I love you. I love it when you bring your family in too, brother. That means so much to me. It's good to see. I'm so proud. Again, I'm just proud to be on the show. This is a beautiful thing. I'm gonna tell you that.
I really appreciate that. It means so much because I don't take anything for granted. I think that anybody, I'm 50 years old now. I mean, I literally don't take anything for granted. I'm like, yeah, the people love me, and the people I don't read the press. The people can hate me. I wouldn't know. The people could think I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I really just stayed tunnel on what is it that from a spirit connected place can I do to make people feel good when I'm working. That's all. I mean, if I'm working a physical party, if I'm working a virtual, what is it that I can do to take you away? I might see all the dudes are acting crappy in the club, and I'm like, I'm the first dude that's gonna buy the Gemini shot. It's Gemini season. Show me your license. If it's your birthday, this week, I'm gonna buy you a drink. And the rest of y'all guys get in line and do that. That's me. I'm like, hey, what can I do to push out the energy that it is that I want to receive? And you have to do that virtually because and don't get me wrong, there are guys like Torrin Edmond who won't. Torrin is the ultimate in Terminator X. He speaks with his hands. He is not going to say anything on the mic other than thank you. That's beautiful. That's beautiful because he's speaking to his audience relative to that dynamic. He's not trying in those places. So I say that to say that my goal is to make you forget about that bill that just came in the mail, that a meeting that was just canceled because somebody called in, the call that you got from a loved one. My goal is make you forget about that, whether you're with me physically. And the best way to do that is to engage you and have you listening for what it is that could apply to you or somebody that you care about.
That's it. Hey, now everybody in the conversation is recognizing each other and throwing shout outs. Hey, we love it. We love it. Come party with us. This is all about our family. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You ready for this one, Vince?
Hans. Yeah.
So, all right, 21st century tea. 21st century tea. And I don't know if Hans heard me mention his name earlier as a prior guest on the show. Certainly tons of respect for Hans. Hans gave me a personal call and told me something, and I won't get into the details of it, not because I won't. I just don't want to, like, you might have a question. If you like, go deeper, I will. It wasn't anything that I'm ashamed of. Hans gave me a personal call to say, here's something I would like to see you do different, better. And I said, Hans, nobody's a bigger critic of me than me. I know exactly why I'm not doing what it is that you think that I should do. But let me share with you what the psychology is around how I know what you're talking about, but how I've identified what's the best approach in this specific regard is. And we had that chop better to better, man to man. And we both walked away from it, like me saying, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention, and him saying, I understand exactly where you're coming from. And Dave Boone, thank you for all the crates of records that you allowed me to borrow, because I did not have what was popping in Chicago because I was from FAMU, and you built that incredible collection. And that's my brother for life, Dave Boone. True story. I would not be where I am today without Dave saying, I got this copy of Baby I'm Scared of You on 12-inch and this copy on the album. Which one would you like to take tonight? I'm like, I'll take the album, you take the 12-inch. And he would split his crates in order for me to do a party on the same night as him. 1997, true story.
That is incredible. I know I'm getting comments. I'm trying to keep up with them. Everybody wants to show their love and interact on the chat room. So where do you see this thing going, Vince? I mean, obviously this virtual thing happened and you were kind of hesitant, but you kind of fell into it, and it's been a good thing. Where do you see it going?
D and Dewey, here's what I can say. Keep me tonight as long as you can to share where the world is going right now. I mean, just like however you want to slice, dice, get deeper in this conversation. This is probably one of the most important conversations in entertainment. I'm not being hyperbolic, because when can we get 200 people unilaterally in the same room across the world, across the country at least? So you may be able to do it in Indiana, but can you do it in Illinois? You may be able to do it in Michigan, but can you do it in California? Like, when just across the board will we be able to now, throw politics into it? In the event that Biden wins, you will have a rebellion of people that proliferate the virus even further, that say, just out of obstinance, we're So I say that to say this. Two things. One, virtual isn't going anywhere because it is serving an underserved community. An underserved community is a 47-year-old with a 13-year-old who says, I didn't want to try to figure out how to do my hair, what to wear, who was driving, how much I should drink. I'm cool right here in my basement. I'm cool right here in my living room. Like, there are a fair number of people who, thanks so much, Tyree. There are a fair number of people who over the last 6 months have partied more than they have over the last 6 years because the party came to their house. These are people that weren't going out anyway. You've got Alan King rocking 200 people plus a Saturday for hours at a time. They were not going to the house spot, and these are people who weren't going out. Not saying all of them. I'm saying he's capturing a group of people who weren't even going out. Those people aren't about to go out if there's a vaccine. So the first thing is that virtual is not going anywhere because it's serving an underserved community, which are people who would love for the party to be in their basement, in their bedroom, in their living room, on their back porch, in their backyard, hey, I'm more than happy with, firing up a cigar in the back, and on the back porch and enjoying this incredible set on my 43-inch TV. Jerry, I need to put Jerry on the payroll. And then Keith Garrett, introverts, stand up. I mean, so there's an underserved community of people who love music, love engagement, and would do it much more from a, virtual sense than they would in a physical one. And so then the second thing is, okay, my name is Dewey. I've got a nonprofit, and my nonprofit has an event that takes place every November, and our nonprofit normally sells 175 tickets for $50 a ticket, and we can't have our event this year. 175 times 50, rough math, is somewhere around $7,500. What if Dewey could figure out a way to get $10,000 from 200 people virtually across the country, as opposed to his local or regional nonprofit that he had a physical, destination for that event, but turn that into a virtual destination without paying for the venue, without security, without catering, without the other expenses that came along. So even though he might have made $7,500 plus a couple other things that came along with that, now he has an opportunity to pretty much be expense free, other than the venue, which would be a virtual DJ, but attract people from a national or maybe even an international space and turn his local or his regional effort into a national effort. So that after you get past the shock of the hour, you start to recognize the opportunity that exists in virtual that didn't exist in a physical space. And when you can pivot and then create the opportunity for people to see the value of, wow, now I get to represent, this, entity that I have, this nonprofit, this for-profit, whatever it is, now that I get to do this in a virtual sense, I can actually attract more people, get bigger, exposure, and at the same time have significantly less effort than I did in my physical event. This is a win. As more people start to adopt that, as I have an event tomorrow for the American Nurses Association, as I've had events for the National Association of Black Accountants, links chapters in Indiana, Texas. I just did the South Atlantic Regional Conference for the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority this past, Saturday. Chicago State University's first generation alumni event. These are people that are starting to see the Safer Foundation physical event that normally happens went virtual this year, raised I think $250,000 on a Friday night that I was a DJ for. And like Dave said, I'll be rocking the virtual Morehouse, a homecoming fundraiser this next Friday.
Gotta put that up. Gotta put it up. I got you covered.
A virtual event for breast cancer this coming Saturday. My point is that the first, I said 2 reasons virtual isn't going anywhere. And we can get deeper or whatever within this. 1, it's serving an underserved community. And then 2, it's actually creating access to things virtually that otherwise you would have to physically be at for more money. And you start to say, wait a minute, I can attract more people that don't have to fly and do all the things and get a guest speaker and all of it virtually. As it starts to make more sense, then you start to be able to actually brand yourself bigger virtually than you ever could physically.
Hey, Dewey, tap in on that. Your thoughts?
That's exactly right. Vince is right on the right track. Again, very proud of you, brother. Keep up the good work. Keep moving on. Keep moving forward. Please do.
That's a blessing. Thank you so much.
Hey, well, Vince, this has been just incredible. We have enjoyed you to no end. And when we move to Saturday, you're going to be at the top of the recruitment list. Hans, if you are still on, we want you on the show. We've been talking about you almost every episode. So let's.
I brought him up today. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's close that deal if you're still out there and bring the people the tea about the culture that we love so much. But the way you talked about where this thing is going, how your story evolved and how DJs need to grab a hold of things this has been exceptional and helpful. And we've talked about culture and had the conversation, but man, it's a masterclass.
No, I really appreciate that.
Man, people need to just go take this and watch it and take notes and really get a hold of this thing. We appreciate you to no end. So what's coming up? We know we just had the conversation about the Mendel, not the Mendel, but the Morehouse virtual homecoming that's coming up. Anything else you would shout out to the folks that's coming up?
You know, I'm actually, I'm going to take this and move it off of me for a super quick second. And I want to do this because this is House Culture Conversations.
Yep.
I want to make a personal appeal to three different things super quick. One, to DJs to embrace virtual to the best of your ability, and put your own stamp on it. Like start where you are. Like I started with an iPhone and an iRig, and that was it. There were no flying, trips to Dubai, and like it started with an iPhone and an iRig. And I see DJs like Stacy Kidd, who is a house music DJ with essentially his face, his background, and just thumping and attracting more people than the average, physical party does. So everybody just start where they are. One. Two, I would like to make an appeal to people to get off of Facebook for your DJing. And when I say people, I mean the viewers, and really go to Twitch. And reason why is that it's a better experience for you to have an uninterrupted, musical experience. I mean, it's just that's the simplest way to put it. And you can't do that on Facebook. The DJ can't, create that dynamic. It's really just one of those things where Twitch happens to be the landing place. And then three, for the person who loves traditional house music or classic house music, open up to this new space of progressive soulful house, deep house, whatever it is you want to call it. There are some amazing songs that are coming out now. I've been able to DJ for Italy virtually. I've been able to DJ for London virtually, where I'm playing music that I otherwise would never play. And it's because sonically they are gravitating toward our sound faster than we are. So that's the three appeals as opposed to me promoting what I'm doing next. One, DJs, please embrace virtual because there are tons of opportunities in it. Two, for the DJ and the crowd, make your way to Twitch. It's just a much better environment. And then three, for those who are like, I don't like the new music. There's like 40 billion new songs. Like you might not like the 14 you heard, but trust me, there are some newer songs now that go super, incredibly hard in terms of like, embrace of the sound, the culture, whether it's a Josh Milan vibe, whether it's a Vic Lavender vibe, Pevin Everett is still banging things, Ian Friday. I mean, there's just tons of music that's still being made right now that I think that people can help keep the culture alive, and, definitively having a venue that welcomes you, which is Twitch, and having an opportunity to listen to it nonstop now makes it a better, even, more accessible experience for you. So that's what I wanted to share.
Hey, Vince, this has been incredible. It's been fantastic, been amazing. And for the folks that came into this conversation, thank you guys for bringing the energy. Wait a minute, I got to put this up there. How about that Black Widow?
Danny,
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Shouts out.
Black Widow. Somebody's calling out cuts.
Shouts out to Danny. Cuts. Shouts out to Danny Black Widow. Shouts out to my man Rasol. Shouts out to Megan McNeil, what she's doing with Terry Hunter. Absolutely, there's some incredible new gems that are dropping on us.
Thanks again, Vince, for coming out. One other thing, I want to bring those back up and talk about again. Don't miss the Morehouse Virtual Homecoming. That's going to be coming up on the 16th, I believe that is.
Next
And then
Friday.
on the 18th, we're going to have the Mendo Virtual House Party, which is on the third Sundays, and DJ Dewey B will be spinning there. Vince, with all our heart, all our love out to you, and everybody listening in, we are done for now. We'll see you later.
Thanks so much for having me.
Peace.